Hi, everybody. I want to talk to you about this energy and give you a little bit of an update. So, we have a lot going on, and we've really had a lot going on since the solstice, and then the new year smacked us. And then, January was this exercise in battling solar flares, and it isn't ending and it's not going to end. But I want to give you like a synopsis of what is taking place. And isn't it crazy when, like the solstice and the new year feels years away? I was talking to somebody and she says it's like having 6 days in one, and it very much is. Time has sped up significantly, and it's making it so that we have to narrow down and figure out what's important. But also, we are undergoing massive changes. So many of us, those of us who have chosen the ascension timeline, are having role changes or expansions. And so this can feel really unsettling because you were used to handling things a certain way. And now all of a sudden, what used to work doesn't. You're feeling called in a new direction, or you know that what's not working, what you're still doing is not working, but you don't have a new direction yet. So it can be this feeling of being unanchored and being confused and kind of going, what is all of this? So that's part of it. So these new roles are interesting. One of the things this morning when I was asking about them was that they said some of us got glimpses of it before. So if you've ever had a period in your life, maybe it was a 24-hour period to where you were so on and you felt connected to everything, and you just felt here and alive and like everything was going to be great. And then it faded and you were kind of like, well, where was that? That was your preview of the you that is anchoring in. And now understand that these new roles come in because we're embodying more of who we are. It's a beautiful process. And understand, the since the new year, the vibrational frequency on earth has risen, and it's risen quite a bit. And I know that if you look around and you watch the news or you look at things like that, you're going to go, how? It actually feels more negative in some ways. Well, one, I'm going to tell you to turn all of those avenues off and anchor into the people that are on a similar frequency as you, because you will see their growth. You will see how they're making huge shifts, and understand that this is happening everywhere. But the more light that is on the planet, the higher the vibration, the wider the gap between the high vibrating and the lower. And this lower is going to act up. This lower has to, so that we can see it, heal it, feel it, and finally let it go. And for many of us, it's not actually a healing that's taking place. It's a surrendering. And it's saying, I get it. I've been through that, and I don't need that anymore. I don't need that story. I don't need that line. I don't need this anymore. And as you do that, it begins to drop off. And so look at your stories. Look at the things that you tell yourself, the way you limit yourself, the way that you may explain yourself to someone else, because a lot of this process right now is the dropping of labels, which that in itself can be a little scary. It can be a little intimidating. It can make you feel rudderless and that you're in this vast ocean and you're like, I don't even know where I'm going or when I'm ever going to see a shore again. So if you are feeling that, completely normal. If you are feeling deep grief, completely normal. Because as the vibration on earth has risen, we're able to anchor in more of our soul. And not just on that emotional, mental, spiritual level, in the physical. And that has many repercussions. Okay. One of the things that I know that I'm finding is the sensitivity to things is through the roof. I use sensitive mascara, and the company I'm using, I can't use it anymore. I'm noticing today, I was like, that's it. And I ordered a new company that felt better for me because I'm noticing my eyes are burning. And if I don't wear makeup, they're not burning. If I wear makeup, they're burning. And I like makeup. So I'm going to look and see if I can find a new company. But this was the company prior that I was using because I had gotten too sensitive to the others. And so we may find that. We're going to find that with food. We're going to find that maybe even with clothing, to where what's next to our skin needs to be better. It needs to be softer for us. It needs to match what we really want. So all of these things can happen. Now, as our soul anchors in, it's going to show us where we're holding trauma in the body, where we're holding stories, where we're holding the ancestral patterning. These are going to come up, okay? And we have the opportunity to unwind them. And we just may not even know the story behind it. All we know is that we feel a certain way. Acknowledge that you feel a certain way and move on. It's very much going into that radical acceptance. I accept who and what I am right now and how I feel. Not judging it, not creating a story, not thinking it's better or worse than the day before. It just is. And in that space of radical acceptance, we can allow the higher energies to help push it out. So it's going to be very interesting between these new roles that are coming online. And there is grief about the loss of that too. It's an identity change. Think of it as, for those of you that are getting a radical role change, look at how many, when they go into retirement, there's half of them that is excited and the other half going, now what? What's going to happen now? And there's some sorrow. Perfectly normal. Allow yourself to feel it. And with these role changes, are not going to know. It's not clear cut. It's, unless you're in that constant communication with your oversoul, you may not understand what these new roles are. So your job is to follow where your heart leads. Your job is to figure out, all right, what's going to make me happy? What's going to feel good to the heart today? What opportunities coming in match? And it really is, can you match the opportunity of the highest potential, not your fears? Because they're both coming in. Okay. So you may find over the next few months, both come in. There'll be this opportunity for you comes in, and you're like, okay, that's a good opportunity. This opportunity comes in, you're like, oh my God, yes, I really want that. However, it may not seem realistic. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Blah, 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 blah. Fear, 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 limit, limit, limit. Okay. Pay attention to that and see where, as you are accepting your new space, your new roles, you're limiting it at the same exact time. So these energies are intense. They are intense. Grounding is going to be essential. Working with the sun is essential. All of these practices, we know what to do. There's very much here going back to the basics. And sometimes the tongue doesn't even work right anymore. It's going back to the grounding. It's going back to, eating the foods that are going to assist you with holding all this energy, whatever that is, not a belief system, whatever your body actually needs. It's doing that. It might mean some body work being done. Okay, so this is massage or chiropractic or, any of these things that help assist your soul to feel more at home in this body. And don't mistake me, this is not, all of your soul downloading in. It's not. I mean, these containers are quite limited right now, but it is a huge jump in our evolution. And it's going to be exciting to see, what does that mean? What does that create for us? And as we hold more of our limitless nature, what do we then project outward and create? So, just a quick little update to kind of give you some understanding of where we are and why you may feel completely smacked sideways. Or you could feel completely like, oh my God, this feels really good. I'm finally feeling like I can be here without feeling like a fish out of water. And both are completely normal and both can be really worked with. So again, it goes back to that acceptance of what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and your space in each moment without judging, attaching to it, or creating stories. So I hope that this finds you feeling good, feeling good. Many are tired. I'm finding like by 8:30 at night, I'm done. I'm done. And I'm not, you know, waking up bright and bushy-tailed as I normally try to do. My body's in it. I am completely in it right now. And you may be too, and that's okay. And so we work with the changes because we don't know what this is going to bring. We've not done this before. This is a new space, and we're all learning from each other. And it's very exciting. I mean, there's a lot that spirit will share how they want things to be. For them, it's all right, let's get in here, let's get downloaded, let's break the chains, let's stop living in limitation, let's take off any blinders that we still may have. And then from there, let's create, and let's create in joy. It may or may not be reality. Or it may be the reality, but it could be slower than what any of us would really want. It's that place of impatience. So it's going to be an interesting ride. And there is a lot shifting on the earth, a lot. Recently, I was in Honduras and I was on Roatan Island. And I went there for a couples retreat, my husband and I, to where we were learning new skills and really opening to ourselves more so that we could open to each other more. And it was really beautiful. And simultaneously, I was working with the water. And there is more activations coming for the crystal pyramids in the water. And there is more signals. And what I mean by that is when we hold a particular vibration, a particular frequency, and we go places, we are like this switch on a circuit board, if you will. And so I was working with the water in Roatan Island, and I'm going to be doing more work in Belize in 6 weeks. And that's going to be working with the ruins, and I'll put out some information on that. And then from there, we head to Egypt, which is really very much a trip about remembering that time in that space. It has a lot to do with Atlantis. It has to do with the goddess Isis and Osiris and Horus, which is that divine trinity of divine masculine, divine feminine, and divine child. And so we're all working on that right now, as well as our shadow and all of our stuff comes up. So it is a very intense time. But if you feel called to go to the Egypt trip, there are still spaces available. And I will be putting out something for the Belize trip so that, if you're not involved in it, then you will be able to participate and get some of the energies that are promised. I'm going to be working down off the Honduran Bay, off of the coast of Belize, and with the crystal pyramids that are there on the solstice. So, all divinely guided, all purposeful, and really exciting because there's big changes. And every time we change, the earth changes. Every time the earth changes, we change. It is a symbiotic relationship that we have. And we're beginning to remember that. The more that we download our soul and embody more of that beautiful essence by unlayering all that we are, or all the stuff, right? All the stuff that we have to walk into who all that we are, the more that we will find that we're accessing these codes, and we're going to take these codes everywhere we go. So many of you are feeling called to travel, and travel doesn't necessarily mean a different country. Travel could be the next 5 cities over, where you're like, I think I want to go check out that museum. Go. There's a reason. Your energy is needed there. It's not, everything isn't always what it seems. It's not cut and dry. So if you're feeling the call to travel, please do it, because there is a lot shifting. And it also can be that as you go to places, you're unlocking another layer within yourself. Egypt is very much about that. It's about unlocking that next layer, and it's going to be exciting. So just quick little energy update. I wanted to keep you all posted. Let me know if you have any questions. We'll be talking about that in the inner circle. There's a link to the inner circle on the bottom of this. Ask questions in there. Ask questions on the comments, and we'll get a conversation going. So take care, and happy embodying all that you are, and embracing these new roles that are here. They are here, and we're walking into them.